Hello, welcome back. In this week's camera, I want to talk to you about the Zeiss Ikon Contarex. It's a very, very beautiful camera. It's a big, heavy camera that was introduced at Photokina in Germany in 1958, but didn't make it to the US market until early 1960. It's also known as the Bullseye or the Cyclops camera due to its kind of bulbous metering system on the top here. The camera, when it first came out in 1960, was registered as a professional camera and had a cost with the 50mm f2 Zeiss lens at $500. Actually, it was $499, but $500 is the roundup price. So at that time in 1960, $500 was a very, very expensive camera. I want to go over some of the features of the camera. The camera was very much over-engineered, and with over 1,100 parts in this camera, there's very few people, if any at all, at this point that can still repair this camera just due to its complexity. I wanted to discuss this camera as well in this week's video. So when you look at the camera, it's very big, very heavy. It's a little over 2 pounds. Average size. To me, it's a very comfortable camera, but then again, I was raised on Nikon, so it's a very comfortable camera for me. When you look at the different items on the camera, your winding lever is here. Your shutter release is this button right here, which is inside the winding lever. Your shutter speeds are set by turning this dial, and you have shutter speeds from 1/1000th of a second down to 1 second along with V. Your ASA is set by lifting this dial and setting it by turning this dial, this black dial here, till you get to the desired shutter or ASA setting that you want. So right now it's set at 160, but if you want 100, you would just go to 1 dot past 80, which would be right here, and it snaps back down. On this side of your camera is your rewind knob, and you just pull this button up. Has an arrow to show you which way to rewind when you're done with your film. This wheel right here actually sets the aperture, and if you look on the top of the Cyclops or Bullseye area, and you turn this wheel, the aperture changes. Now it's funny, when you take this portion off, you can actually see there's 3 different pulleys in this camera that actually help with the metering system. And if you change the wheel without, you can see that it's actually setting the aperture in the meter. It's a CDS meter on this camera. I can put this back on. By changing the aperture, it actually sets the aperture inside the lens corresponding to the aperture that you have set here. So when you look through the viewfinder, you'll see a little window on the right hand side with a needle, goes up and down. You would either just set your shutter speed to the desired shutter speed and then move your aperture back and forth until you get the needle inside right in the middle, and that'll means that you're properly exposed. Anything up above it will be overexposed, and anything down below it will be underexposed. When you look on the front, you have a built-in self-timer, which is a 12-second self-timer. You have a little window here that actually lights up the viewfinder window, and I will show you a picture of what the viewfinder looks like. This button here takes the lens off, so you just push this button in and turn it counterclockwise and the lens comes off. You can see the mirror system inside of here. Your lens, you would just again match the 2 red dots up to put the lens back on and turn it clockwise. On the bottom of the camera, you have to get into your film chamber. You flip these 2 latches up and turn these, and similar to how a Nikon works, the back slides off. The take-up spool can come off, so you're just going to load your 35mm film into here, bring it over to your take-up spool, make sure that you're on your transport gear, put this back into your guides, and then lock it up. Flip these down. Going to go through your roll of film. And when you're at the end of the roll of film and you want to rewind the film back into your cassette, this has a little R on it. So you're going to flip this up and slide this over to the R. That releases your drive gear, so you can then rewind your film back into your cassette. Focus is here. Now my lens isn't the 50mm f2 lens. I actually have a 35mm f4 lens. One of the nice things I like about this is that it actually focuses down to 0.19 meters. So it's a little bit wider than a 50mm lens. It's a 35mm, but because of this I can actually focus about 7.5 inches from my subject. So I really like this. It's not a macro lens, but it does allow me to get closer focusing than I would with normal 35mm lens. This is the Zeiss Ikon Contarex camera. I went out and I took some pictures, and let me show you a couple of pictures that I took with this camera because the lens is extremely sharp. Well, I want to thank you for your time. Again, this is the Zeiss Ikon Contarex camera. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week with another exciting camera for a review.